All right, we are live. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I have a very, very special guest in the studio today, Mike Goldenstyle.
Good to
Mike,
be here. Thanks for having me.
Mike is a little bit nervous. So am I. I know Mike for over 7 years, eight
Yeah.
years. So for those of you who don't know who Mike is the best of the best sales reps I have in my roofing business owner career. He represents GF, one of the first accounts I created 7 years ago. Over the years, we always stayed close. I remember wrestling him a few times. He just beat me on the right hand. I took revenge on the left one. But today, guys, we're going to talk about relationships between contractors and sales reps. Recently, I have one of the students on the Midwest who brand new to the business, never been in the roofing industry before, called me, said, Misha, I'm setting up my business and where do I start? And I recommended him to go to local supplier and request a meeting from local sales reps. By the way, I remember how I met you the same way. I called, I believe, ABC. I said, "Who is my GF rep? Who is my OC rep?" And reps will come after you. But here's what's disturbing. 2021 has a lot of trends, interesting trends. And in 2021, manufacturers and suppliers have a little bit more leverage than contractors. And we'll talk about it. And my new student in the Midwest told me this. He's like, Misha, I met with the two reps, and I don't think they cared about me. I don't think they cared about my business. And let's talk about it. Mike, I see a huge trend in the industry in consolidation. Couple years, 20 years ago, we have 36 manufacturers. Today, we have three top manufacturers who's doing like 80% of the business. We had so many moms and pop supplier houses. Today, we have SRS, Beacon, and ABC, who seems to be dominating market as well, 80%. So as a contractor, we don't have a lot of choices. Amounts of contractors doubled. Used to be 20,000 exterior contractors. Now it's 40,000, but amount of options that we have narrowed down to three or four. Do you feel like you have leverage in this business?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because from my perspective, it feels like I got less and less as the years go by. Whether you're a manufacturer, or you're a distributor, really, we have these conversations all the time. We're not looking for customers; we're looking for loyal customers. And um, the competition is so great that it's hard to develop that and hard to keep that loyalty. Once you do, you feel like you gain it. But I think that as far as the consolidations, it's a good point. I mean, it is whether you're manufacturing, but at the same time, what do we have? 7 different shingle lines in the Twin City area, so you really do have options, maybe more than you think you do. But at the same time, the big tend to get bigger in it, and a lot of it has to do with, man, you have to be on your A game. You have to be reinventing yourself. You have to be gaining whatever um, leverage that you can get to be able to help your customers grow. Because if they're not growing, you're not growing, and quickly you start separating people who really want it and people who kind of want it.
We have over 50 people watching us right now, and I want you to ask a question, ask Mike a question, something that you would be afraid to ask your local rep. I'm pretty sure Mike will shed the light a little bit. My question to Mike is this. Recently, I talked to one of the reps, actual supplier rep, ABC rep in Chicago, and he told me this, Dimitri, there's no loyalty in this business. There's no loyalty from the contractors. All they want is cheaper price. If you're not selling them at the lowest possible price of those shingles, they're gonna leave you. Is it true?
Man, I'm going to be saying a cop out that it's not. I really, it's hard. It is hard to accomplish, but I think you can do it, and there's a lot of different ways. And I'd like to tell a quick story of kind of where I have grown, and I appreciate the ability that I have within GAF to create my own business within GAF. And one of the things I did very specifically in 2013, and a lot of it is because I was a a contractor for 18 years before I ever became a rep, and there were some reasons why I was no longer a contractor, and I didn't want that to happen to anybody that I worked with. And so as I started developing what I was hoping to achieve, which was something that GAF was really not known for and was not very good at the time, and that was the storm restoration. And what I was told was, it's all about bottom price, it's all about rebates, it's all about, getting in there, giving your price, and they will go with whoever want. And I challenged that, not knowingly, and so I dove into that arena. And I think I like where I'm at. I like the loyalty and the friendships. And I think I posted this around holidays. It is more of a family than friends. We really are. And this family is not that big if you really think about it. And even the guys that, as they go out and they start their own companies, where they came from. It's not that big of a family, but we are really close, and it's fun to have.
What's the market share in your experience right now between storm restoration contractors and residential roofing contractors? Because I feel like it goes up and down with the restoration contractors. If storm hits and Minnesota gets $200,000 homes hit, obviously storm restoration contractors will take a spike. But is it really dominance by storm restoration contractors by volume?
I don't think it's as much as people think it is. So if I would go and just poll an audience, doesn't matter if it's a room of manufacturer reps or distributor reps or even contractors, people think that it's a dominant, like 70, 80, 90% is storm. I really think that's closer to, maybe 50%. But you got to remember, new construction is about 10 to 15%. Some people think that it's bigger than that, but I think your new construction is probably around 10 or 15%. And then depending on your market, but you got to also think about it. When do people feel like they need a new roof? When do they need to get this change? Oh, it's time to get out the pocketbook. And it's normally when there's damage. And that's why I think a lot of people kind of fall to that. Oh, everything's a storm or everything's an insurance claim.
We have a question here from Jacob Kirby. Why does pricing vary so widely between the 5 distributors in my town? What town are you in? But how would you answer this question?
Man, there's so many different factors in it, and some of it is just competition, and some of it is logistics, and some of it is the relationships that you have. There's a lot of different reasons.
How much is it of it is agreed?
It would be fun to go there, and but if you were to poll a bunch of distributor reps, there's not very many greedy ones that I know of. They work hard. They work hard for their money. They work hard they get paid on sales commissions just like anybody else. They're like any other salesperson.
We just got a price increase letter yesterday from Beacon, 6% again. Is it because you guys driving the prices up, or is just Beacon of their own sending those? What drives the price up in an economy like today? We don't have any major factors. Labor is not going that much up. Gas is relatively the same. What drives the price 6% yet another time? I'm pretty sure it's not the first time this year we're going to get the letter.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of different reasons for that as well, obviously. But, what we're dealing with are anytime we are in manufacturing, and some of you guys see this on a micro level too, is inefficiencies cost a lot of money. And what we're dealing with COVID and new way of the new normal and all of these different things, there's a lot of things that are slowing us down. And especially in demand here, what we're experiencing too is just to be able to help you guys with your materials. We're bringing in from different plants. Trucking is insane. And so those costs have continued to go up, and it's reflected in some of these price increases. So there's very little of this is not driven by greed. It's driven by, man, we need this. Distributors need these because they're not as profitable as you think that they are.
And we'll come back to it in a second. But I think it's right. Like GF is one of the manufacturers who actually, and I heard it from all over the country, in 2020, you guys did not have shortages. I know OC, CertainTeed have huge shortages down south. You guys were able to stack up. And my answer, I guess, to this question too, like if you're the contractor, what would you do if you have high demand for your service? Like if everybody's out, if nobody can do the jobs, what would you do? Would you raise your price? So I think it answers question too, because demand is so big that I think it's smart for manufacturers. It's not always ethical. It's not always right. We don't always like it, but I feel like because there's only 7 manufacturers, there's only 3 major suppliers. If you guys buying from them, I feel like if they see the demand, the easiest thing for them to increase 5-6%.
Well, and I can definitely hear that, but I also want you to kind of realize that roofing specifically is a little bit different than, it's not like so let's take trucking, for example. We went through that a couple years ago where suddenly it was 12 to, $2,000 difference added to the cost of a truck coming from one plant to another. It was insane. And a lot of it had to do with the GPS systems and the new rules that were coming through. Well, you take that in a Walmart truck full of, a couple $100,000, if not, several $100,000 worth of material and a lot of different things. You spread that out pretty thin, and the consumer may or may not feel that difference. You put that on a truck of shingles, and there's only 250 squares of shingles on there. Suddenly that $1,200 just turned into a $5 a square increase.
Wow.
To us. I mean, that's just real costs. And how many of you just were given that right off the bat? It's not an easy place to be when you're a manufacturer of that amount of volume, and you're suddenly trying to find places for that.
Absolutely. Guys, quick announcement. We're finalizing Roofing Process Conference in December in Orlando. So this year, the dates are 9 and 10th. Obviously, in about a week, you're going to see a full website. You'll be able to register, buy tickets, stuff like that. But one of the things we're going to be doing this year that we've never done before, we wanted to do it last year, but it was a little bit too much. We're adding our own Roofing Insights Award ceremony. So we're going to come up with we already have a list of 25 awards that we want to give. One of them is Sales Rep of the Year. So I personally want to nominate Mike Goldenstein as my rep, for years. And you'll be able to vote on your reps, why you like them so much, what do they do for you, how they're different. We're going to have other nominations like the best YouTube video of the year, the best Facebook advertising, the startup of the year, the roofing company of the year by Roofing Insights, supplier of the year, scam bag of the year, con artist of the year. We'll do it all. We'll do it our style. You're going to love it. We're going to have beautiful night with a private concert, with the award ceremony. And let's see if Mike can even solidify his nomination here if he answers this question. What is the typical markup for distributors from the manufacturers?
Oh, man. Yeah, you guys don't want to even go there. Let me put it this way. And again, I'm coming from so I started roofing actually in 1992. I graduated from high school, and there's not a single one of you that would do it for the money that they do it for. I'm telling you, you don't want to go there.
Guys, keep commenting questions. Please be respectful. There's no disparaging comments. There's nothing negative we want to see in this chat. Here's where I would like to take this conversation. Mike, you've been on the sales reps for how long?
I've been with GAF in my 11th year now.
11th year. Here's the question I want to ask and discuss. How many contractors have you seen failed in this business? Companies you've been coming to, representing, helping them, supplying shingles, and now they're out of business. What's the percentage, and what are the reasons those companies are not in business any longer?
Yeah, and there's so many that come and go. It really is, and I think the reasons have changed over the years. The reason why they weren't successful or able to compete, in the early 2000s is very different than today. Now, I think the last time I actually looked at the stats, it was close to, and this is going to be crazy, 70% of contractors are out of business in 3 years.
70%. Wow.
And over 90% are gone in 7 years. You think about those numbers, and somebody who wants to start a company and go into business, and you're facing a 90% chance you're not going to make it 7 years, seems to be might not want you to do it. So did you catch Elon Musk the other day on, I think it was on Clubhouse, said somebody asked him, what encouragement can you give to an entrepreneur? Did you hear his answer?
No.
If you need encouragement, you probably shouldn't become an entrepreneur.
Wow.
But that's a real issue that I think a lot of guys are facing. I don't know that people understand how hard it is to do this and how bad you need to want it.
Let me stop you. What's so hard about it? You sell the job at $10,000. You pocket $4,000 profit. You're a greedy contractor. What are you complaining about? What's so hard about it? Can you explain? And you were a contractor before. Can you explain the roofing business and why it's so hard to other people?
Yeah. So, and I'll put it within terms of what I was doing in 2008 and 2009, 2010, where I decided to get out of it. I just kind of, my mind went to, $150 a square is going to go to shingles, nails, underlayments, dumpster permit, everything all in $150 a square. And my labor was going to be $70, $80 a square. So I knew I had $230 into it to turn this job, just real hard, flat costs. I also remember those days getting excited because suddenly I was starting to get $300 a square for that project. I was thinking I was making big money. But then at the end of the year going, I didn't make anything. And those of you who are in business today are probably laughing at my stats of $150 a square. You're probably doing better than that. And I don't know how much, your labor has really gone up or down, but it takes a lot more than $300 a square to make it in this business. And that's why I say, I think years ago, I think cash flow was a big deal. Now I think it's mistakes being made in business because you don't have a lot of people that are going to college to become roofers or to become contractors. And, it's pretty quick that you get upside down in your cash flow. And when you have more and more, trucks and overhead and lights and, everything that goes into it, it's not easy to scale to a point where you have a longevity type of a business.
Absolutely. So 11 years, can you attest to the statistic? Would you say that 90% of your audience are completely brand new now from when you started?
Because no. And I think that's part of the, we can talk about, getting together with your manufacturer, get yourself aligned with, good people in the industry. They're going to help you become successful. I fear, and this kind of maybe going back to what you had said in the beginning, the rep really just doesn't care. We get spread so thin. My fear is that, maybe 40 or 50% of those I never met. I never knew them. They came into business. Wow. They tried to make a start. They tried to make a go with it. And then they exit without, I just never even knew they existed. When we're talking with our certified and our master elites, we are already probably talking about the best of the best. I even see them fail, but not nearly to the tune of, so do you want to take a guess how many contractors are in the Twin City Metro? Roofing contractors.
3,000.
Yeah, it's probably between 3,000 and 4,000.
Yep.
In early 2000, you're probably talking about, closer to 1,500 to 2,000. So there's a lot more.
Doubled.
Yeah. And I only work with, a few hundred, so it's a different world.
Guys, I want to run a quick poll, and I really want as many people as possible to comment answer to this question. How important, in your opinion, is product in your success? Like your shingle. I've asked this question, biggest players in the market. Some people say it's everything. Some people say it's 20% of your success, 30%. Some people say products don't matter at all. It's everything else. I want to hear from you. Shingle itself, the product that you sell, how important it is to you? Is it 50%? Is it 40%? Is it 80%? Is it 10%? I remember years ago, for those of you who don't know, I actually have a landscaping company. I only have it for like 3 months, and I was very successful. One day, I would always make $500 a day. I didn't even have, I don't think I had LLC. I just did, I created a Gmail account, cutmygrass@gmail.com. And in 10 days, I got 10 clients. And I remember I was coming to this landscaping place and buying some rocks, some supplies, whatever. I was cutting, like grass on a regular basis, and every once in a while I would do a landscaping job. And I remember talking to the owner of the landscaping place. She had a big wall, and I asked her something about business, and she said, "Dmitry, let me show you something." She turns around, and there's a huge wall, and there's probably 1,000 business cards in them, and said, every year I come to this wall like during the springtime and I completely wipe it out and I replace it with brand new cars, because that's how many contractors go out of business, landscaping companies. Like, think about it. Like, she comes and she's like, what you see now, next year nobody's going to be in business anymore. People come and people go. And you need to understand that business, it's an economy in general. There's so many moving parts. People think, give me advice in marketing. People ask, like for website guy, for certification, with shingles to install, business advice. A lot of times, guys, it's our society. Like, you guys know how hard it is to find labor. It does not matter how easy it is to make money. It does not matter how much opportunities in front of them. If people, like, for example, right now, our government is about to send checks to everyone, even for people with the jobs. I mean, what do you think going to happen to our industry? Like, how would you motivate people? When I was making $10 an hour as a siding installer, nobody was sending me checks. I have to wake up in the morning, go to the forest, kill something, drag it home, and cook it to eat. Today, you can be sitting at home, and this is the times. I mean, we're closer to communism than 10 years ago, but let's not even go there. The thing is, like, business, it's not just a product, it's not just economy. Business is also mindset. And this is something that I want to ask you and to talk to you about it. What Elon Musk said. How do you motivate people? Because we have this complaint. Well, we have enough, and we don't have to work much to live good lifestyle. How do you motivate millennials? How do you motivate yourself to wake up in the morning and go actually make something happen? How many business owners you see that just not motivated no matter what's in front of them?
Man, once you lose that motivation, because I mean, you see some guys that just want to see the money, and they just, oh my gosh, all the money and the big trucks and the vacations and all that kind of stuff. And a big part of this, how do you stay humble? And so you think about the number of guys that are out there, and when I'm talking with sales guys, what are the first thing that, not even sales guys, with the owners are like, well, I'm going to hire 5 more guys. I'm going to hire 10 more guys. And, is there a part of this that says, okay, here, let's talk about the realistic portion of this. You are signing a contract with a homeowner that says, I will take this roof off and put this product on. Can you fulfill that contract? Can you, Dimitri, fill that contract? Are you going to pull that bundle of shingle up there, tear it off, and redo it? I understand you're great at paperwork. I understand you can motivate sales guys. I understand you can scale, but think of what's going to happen if because the number of sales guys, the number of owners out there, you're not actually producing anything. Who's producing it? Your labor, and that's become a big difficult part.
Do you think we have too many guys in the middle of the chain?
Too many. I don't think that's mine to determine. I think our economy and our system and our way of doing things has allowed it. But I think you take a look at COVID, take a look at whatever 2021 is going to bring. When this crashes, they're not going to need the middle people anymore.
So what's the perfect size of the company? Do you see, in your opinion, is it owners, operators, guy who's still in the crew, or maybe have 5 guys under him and he still sells, or is a biggest player in town who financially stable and who can just put everybody else out of business?
I think the perfect size is whatever that person is capable of doing. You've interviewed some really good people, some good master leads, some good contractors. I mean, ask Dustin, from Apple, what is the perfect size, or Ryan Huge, what's the perfect size? You get a guy like Ben, who's out there, motivating salespeople. What's the perfect size? The perfect size is the one that creates jobs, that provides a service, provides the best service for whatever a homeowner has, and is successful at doing that, and on a long, for a long period of time.
Let's read some comments here. So it says, Gillen says, shingle products make or break any company. Facts. Do you agree with that?
100%. Yeah. I've had some guys that I wasn't able to convert to GAF because they count on the number of claims. They said, I have a, 20, I think the guy said like 25 to 30% of his work every year is the manufacturer, because he knows he's put on a bad product and the manufacturer pays him to
So
repair it
stupid.
in a year.
It's so stupid.
And I can't.
For years, guys been fighting me on this, and I'm gonna stand corrected, and I still have this opinion. The same thing happening with the class 4 shingles and upgrades. So many guys like argue with me, and I want to know your opinion too. They argue that we should not be selling class 4 shingles because, you know, if we install too many class 4 rubber shingles, stuff like that, tomorrow after hails, we're not going to have jobs. Why we would do that? Let's install a regular architectural who's going to get smoked with a half-inch hail next year or 2 years from now. We're going to be still in business. And I always ask them, do you have any data to support it? How many clients from the past actually rehire you? Like, I know a lot of storm chasers who, have done 25 million in 1 year and 5 million 3 years from now, because they never go back. Because even after people hired you and gave you the business, I mean, does not matter what you install. If you do good customer service, they'll come back to you. But if you're average, if you did not have their best interest in mind, especially if you install cheap ass products, I don't think they're coming back to you. So for those who would not upgrade their homeowners to better product just so you have more business later, I don't think you're going to be their choice. And I've seen it happen in my career. Like, I ask people, we have a couple companies who are no longer in Minneapolis market, but I ask them, who did your job 2 years ago? And they name the company and they say, we felt like we've been pressured into the sale, and it's bullshit that we have to do this roof again now. So what's your take on the class 4 or like higher? Like, he's smiling.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of questions in that, but I think we all have to prepare ourselves. And we talk about this a lot, the Blockbuster of the worlds and some of the companies that owned the market and no longer own the market. And if anything, we know one of the precious commodities that goes into what we do and how we do it is asphalt. And as asphalt continues to be more and more difficult to get, I mean, I think everybody in the industry needs to start thinking about what is their game changer. Because if we suddenly, and if you take a look at GAF, you take a look at OC, CertainTeed, you better believe we are all looking for the next shingle. What are we going to make it out of when we don't have asphalt anymore? And is it going to get hit by hail and redone? Or are we all going to have to start learning to sell again? Imagine that.
And listen, guys, at Google headquarters, they have the statue of dinosaur, huge dinosaur. And the reason it's there, because Google never wants to become complacent. It's a reminder that you can go extinct no matter how big you are. There's been plenty of companies in the past, your Kodaks, your Blockbusters, they've been huge in the past. But ask yourself this question. Google is 93% of search engine. They're a search engine company. Why Google invest in electric cars, self-driving cars? Look at all investments that Google have been doing over the years. Why? I tell you why. Because you're never too big to fail. You have to stay humble. You have to be innovative. And no matter where it's going, you have to be part of it. So I see it with the manufacturers too. But great comment from Dylan. Good world knowledge. Dynasty Roofing and Restoration thinks that product is only 30%. Todd, the business coach. Todd, appreciate all your comments, engagement on the channel. Even if you don't agree with me, it's okay. Love different opinions. Always welcome it. Order of success. Number 1, marketing. Number 2, sales. Number 3, workmanship, quality of shingle. So many people would disagree with it that Todd here put workmanship, quality of shingle on the third position, but I actually agree, because even if you have that workmanship quality, but you're bad at marketing, bad at sales, sooner or later your guys will be walking away from you, because if you don't keep your guys busy 5 days a week, give them 1 or 2 jobs, you're not going to have those crews. You're not going to, to maintain quality, You have to. It's a business is like a wheel. That's something we talk about in business school a lot. You cannot just improve in sales, improve in marketing, and not improve here. You always add in each department. And so many guys just focus on one thing, and they go out of business.
And why wouldn't you want to win all categories? I want to have the best sales guys. I want to have the best installation crews, and I want to install the best products. You have to if you're going to skip on any of those. I don't think you're going to be in the industry very long.
So you agree with the Order of Success by Todd Biscoach?
Which one was that?
It's right here.
Oh, marketing, sales, workmanship. No, I'd put workmanship on number one. I mean, marketing is great, but anybody can get burned by marketing a bad product.
Sure.
Anybody. It doesn't matter. So
Okay. Darius is asking, please let me know what is your opinion on free estimates.
Well, we just paid for an estimate yesterday. We're getting our looked at. We've got 23-year-old flooring in our house. I think.
How much do you pay for that estimate?
Well, let's go to GAF. Let's put them on the line here. Our certified program, since I started, was $495 to be part of it. We don't keep any of the money; it goes into an account, and you use it. What is that? It is engagement level. Are you going to engage with us? And as we're bringing tools and the enhanced warranties, and you look at some of the stuff between Weather Hub and Quick Measure and the Payzer and the Smart Money. I mean, we've got so many ways that we want you to engage with us. We're confident that $495 is not paying us to be part of the program or paying us to sell our shingles, but that investment is going to make you so much more money. We're not giving this to you for free. We want you to engage with us. That's what I feel like a free estimate is. If you're going to give it away for free, you don't have any value in what you're doing. Your time does not mean anything.
I think, guys, if I would answer this question, I would say estimates, paid estimates are the future. I've done it successfully over the years. For those of you who knows me, what I was doing at Storm Group, I've sold tons of paid. I've done a lot of free estimates. I love Gary Vee answer to this question. He said, your free is loaded. The moment you knock at the door, the moment you showed up for an estimate, people know why you're there. You're there to sell. So don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit homeowner that you're there for free estimate. Your free estimate is loaded. People are not stupid. They know you came there to sell, and that's the only reason you're there. So when you say it's free, it's no different than going to car dealership for inspection. The only reason your car dealership inspects your car after oil change so they can get more business out of you. You know it. As long as you trust that company, that they're ethical and moral and not just taking advantage of you, you're fine. And you trust them. When I go in, I just did my car full service and by Mercedes-Benz, and they give me 3-page inspection. They're like, Misha, you don't need nothing, and I appreciate that. So there's nothing wrong with the free inspection. As a matter of fact, here's what's happening when you charge money for it, and I've done it. I would run offer just like HVAC guys do it, plumbers do it, everybody. Like, go to other industries and see if you can get HVAC guy to look at your HVAC not without paying $69. You can't. So we have to take us a little bit more serious, maybe collaborate and level up the industry. But here's what's happening. If you would charge $99 roof tune-up, here's how consumer looks at you. He looks like he paid for value. He doesn't feel like he's getting something for free. He's getting actually service. He's actually going to be happy. When I was running it, I ran it in the print magazine, $99 roof inspection or $39 roof tune-up, wherever the case was. I remember one father paid for his daughter's roofs. He inspected his job and others too. Because here's what's happening. When you paid for the service, for the inspection, you're getting value even if you don't buy from them. Now, if report comes negative and you can sell insurance claim or start working with insurance, or there's a repair, there's any urgency, it's a different story. But so many people purchase it as a peace of mind. As a matter of fact, we would we would sell 30, 40 at a time. 30% of them was just free and clear. We would get a lot of reviews, positive. It would be brand new 5-year-old roofs. Rich people want that peace of mind that's professional, comes to them, gives them report. I mean, guys, other industry have adopted it. You cannot hire home inspector to give you in a purchase for free. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a paid inspection in your arsenal, what are you gonna give to a realtor who's trying to sell the house and just need a report? You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna build a report with a service. I would put it on my first page of my website. I would advertise it. I would let the whole world know that if they need my paid report, that's it. It's right there. It doesn't cost you much. You're doing it for free anyway. Why wouldn't you? It's definitely the future.
The way that I used to always think about this in my own life is I could take apart a house and put it back together. I remember always sitting there when I first got married and I didn't know a whole lot about, the rest of the home and how it was built and what it went together. And I was telling my wife, I said, one day I want to have x-ray vision. I want to know how I want to know what's inside this wall. Just by looking at it, I know how it's built. But to be honest, on the flip side of that, I don't know how to change blinker fluid in a car. I have no idea where the muffler belt is. I literally know nothing about cars. And so I was paying good money to a buddy of mine at church who was a trained Ford tech, and he would come and he would do inspections on all my trucks and trailers. And he would charge me $500. And he thought he was ripping me off because this was so stupid easy for him to do. And it was the most valuable $500 I spent a year. So don't project what you know about the industry and say, you know what, this isn't really worth that, but if you want to give me $99, I'll do this inspection. No, you got to think about it. It's completely different. Most homeowners are not comfortable. They don't know the things that you know. And there's a lot of value for them to pay you to do an inspection to get that peace of mind. And so if that's in your mind, to try to think of something that you're not very good at, and how much would you pay for that peace of mind to know that you've got a working, functioning, good piece of equipment that you have no idea what it's about.
Shane McGuire says here, free estimates are necessarily in my market. Here's the thing, Shane, my answer to you. If you have never tried to charge for estimate, you don't know what your market can bear. Here's the thing. When you charge for estimates, like I'm pretty sure in your market, people, HVAC guys, electricians, they all charge for their time, right? So here's the thing. You don't have to switch completely to paid, but you have to test the market. At Directory, we will be offering on behalf of our contractors paid services. You have to have it. It's like a menu. You have to have options for them to pay and to get it free. That's my ideal solution. If you call my company today, say, hey, do you inspect roofs? Yeah, absolutely. Is it free? Yes. What's your name? You get their first name, you get their last name. How long have you owned your home? 5 years. Boom. Okay, we're gonna go inspect the room. How long have you owned your home? Well, we're buying a house. Well, you're not even the owner of the house. Why would I waste my time? You're not the owner. You're a builder. I'm just selling the house and I need a report that my roof is good. Well, what's there for me? Is my time value like in anything to anyone anymore? I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm okay with doing free inspections for many people. And if people already called on you, they found you, it's okay. But think about carpet deals. They work great. Carpet cleaning, $29. And carpet cleaning company get tons of calls with them because, you've seen those. You open a mailbox, carpet cleaning, $29. What's average ticket for carpet cleaning company? $350. Get that coupon and call the carpet cleaning company and find out how much it'll cost you to clean their house. Or you want this to be vacuum? You want it it's a foot in the door. Maybe marketing gimmick. I don't like marketing gimmicks, but the thing is, I would definitely advertise because here's the thing, and this is me, Dimitri, the marketer, talks to your brain right now. When you advertise free, people call you bluff. It's a bullshit. They're going to call you out. They know nothing is free. When you advertise paid, they see value. They see actual offer. and they have a right to say yes to that offer and no to that offer. As I am as a consumer, would rather buy offer. I don't care if it's $29 oil change versus to buy free, because I know when I'm buying free, I'm the product, I'm being sold. I have to sit down for 2 hours or 1 hour and hear a sales pitch. Nobody likes it. So that's the difference. You think as a roofer and you think you're smart. I'm thinking as a consumer because I study consumer behavior. When you see a freaking offer and you buy that offer, you know what you're buying. And you pay $99 for roof inspection. Hey, I'm not going to be there. Not a problem. Send me the report. What are you going to lose? You're getting paid $99 for 30 minutes of your time. So, guys, you have to think outside the box. It's 2021. Our industry is changing faster than you possibly can think of. And the future is not what it was 10 years ago. We're not going back to old practices. We're adopting new ones. Kyle says, I always have customers call me and ask, do you offer free estimates? This tells me they're expecting to pay. Light bulb moment. I agree with it.
And especially the size of the investment that they're making. I mean, if we're talking about a $20,000 roof, and they know that they have to pay for this inspection or that initial inspection and the estimate. How does that perceived value? Because anybody who spends $20,000 on the roof, how soon do they want to spend that $20,000 for the roof again? They don't. So they're looking for safety. They're looking for security. They're looking to get the most professional, the most value out of it. And if it costs $100 and I know that I'm getting a better deal, I want to make sure and do that.
Absolutely. Here in Canada, we could never charge for estimates. Well, I call BS on it. If you have never tried, like, here's the thing, guys. I'm not telling you to answer a phone call and say, no, we're not coming for free. I'm telling you to test the market. I'm telling you to actually try. Hold on. To actually try to go out there to create offer and see if people buy it. Back in the day, I was skeptical too. Like 5 years. Do you think, like 5 years ago, people were not skeptical? What if I tell you I sold freaking roofs on Angie's List in 2014? $6,500 roof. I remember in 7 days, I sold 6 roofs to people I've never talked to. My fine print was in 2014, fine print that this is per square price based on a 20 square roof. Above it, you will pay $350 or $325 a square. That's 6 years ago. Some of you suckers cannot get it today on retail when you go into the house. I was selling it online. 6 people have purchased that deal before I even stepped foot in the door. And I think we got 18 more calls. People have questions about it. Here's what's happening when you create these offers for the internet. You can go right now on a Groupon. Do you know how popular Groupon among housewives? You have nothing there. You're like Rick here. And Rick, love you, man. Thank you for engagement. But when you say here in Canada, we could never charge for estimates, guess what? In the United States, the same thing. So many markets. But if you don't have coupon on the Groupon right now, $99 for roof inspection, don't tell me it doesn't work. You haven't tried it. I just came in from the company, American Home Contractors, very recently. And they've done so many jobs off Groupon. They have 1,100 Google reviews. They are $4 million, $5 million a year company. They're killing it. And you guys are telling me it'll never work. You never tried. So, of course, it doesn't work. By the way, Jack, Red Pill, Snake, absolutely love your channel name. Thank you for the $10.
I do like what he said there, too.
Yep.
Contractors that they blow the money. Bills are due. Commissions need to be paid. Salary checks, cash flow. But add to that, too, what we deal with here is slow paying. I mean, people ask me a lot of, to try to balance the Xactimate versus retail market. And there's a part of me that says, you know what? You got to get more money for your insurance because you are going to sit there and wait 60, 90, 120 days, if not longer, to get paid for that. That creates a lot of havoc on your cash flow. And, what contractor doesn't feel that? And I felt it back in, the early 2000s, mid 2000s, that, when you get a $6,000, I mean, I remember $4,500 was a huge check to me to do a full roof. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a shot in the arm. Like now I'm on steroids, not realizing that, 3,800 of that gets paid out the next day. It's still a $4,500 check that I want to spend. And so certainly that's part of it as well.
Absolutely. I want you to think about this. How much were your first iPhone? What is it, like $300 10 years ago?
Mhm.
How much did you pay for your truck? I remember my first truck in 2007 was Nissan Frontier, stick shift, 4-cylinder, bought a brand new 19 grand. Go find a brand new truck right now for 19 grand. Like Ford F-150 in 2007, 2008 cost 30 grand. How much you pay for Ford F-150 today? $60,000-$70,000. You pay for the phone $1,000. You know how many roofers I meet on a regular basis who charge today what they charged 10 years ago? You know, how many letters from guys like Mike you got? Well, not from him, but middlemen, suppliers you got about price increase. You know, we absorb all the cost. And when everybody's charging us for everything, we just sit there and we're stubborn and we're like, nope, cannot do it in my town. Nope, nobody's doing it. By the way, your competition is not who you should be listening to about how much to charge. You have a brain between your ears and you have to start turning it on, because you will be complacent. If you want to do what other 3,000 losers in your town doing and be part of the statistics, be my guest. But I'm telling you right now, this is changing. World is changing. You can sell online. You can charge for inspections. It's doable. It's repeatable. People are waiting for it. You're not going to listen. Nobody going to get offended with an offer for inspection. It's 2021. People have paid for inspections for years. Right here we have Trey saying, I work with home inspectors and realtors in Florida, charge for inspections on homes for sale. Did you know that if a homeowner calls 3-4 contractors, only one of them will answer a phone call most of the time? When I was a contractor, so many times people tell me, Bisha, I call 5 companies. You're the only one to show up. So when you tell me that people will not pay for something, they don't know what other people are offering. I was the only one to show up. I might as well charge for it. Why would I do it for free? So guys, don't say no if you have not tried it.
It's a great too. I don't know how many people are working with your local realtors. Get on their sites, because name one of your hail programs. For us, it's Weather Hub. You can go on, it'll take you whatever 30 keystrokes and about 30 seconds of your time. You can get a 3-year history, print it out, send it to them. That home's going to get inspected. The exterior is going to be looking, and guess what? It just came up with a date of loss if you've got legitimate damage on that roof. You should be communicating with all of your realtors, because that is a tremendous source of
absolutely
referrals.
Abner here saying $99 roof inspection. By the way, Abner, beautiful, awesome, absolutely gorgeous profile pic. Love it. $99 roof inspection, $149 roof inspection and tune-up thoughts. So I always been super, super successful with a couple deals. Number one was tune-up. Spring tune-up or winter tune-up, $69, $79. You're on the roof anyway. Get a silicone chimney flashings. Make sure there's no popping nails, stuff like that. So that was my number one. And then I would do emergency repair deal. You can charge something like $299, $399, $699, whatever you like. If you're in Florida after hurricane, if you have offer on your website somewhere, it says like $699 emergency tarp covering. Listen, if they have a tree in their house and you have offer, boom, they just do the purpose, and now they did the business with you. They expect you to come as fast as possible. So love $149 the roof inspection. I would keep roof inspection a little bit less. I would do roof tune-up a little bit more. $129, $139. It's all fair game. And by the way, you guys always can waive it later. And by the way, those roof tune-ups or roof reports, another one, you can create like a little menu on your website of everything you sell, like roof report. I mean, it's not free to you. Buy that Eagle View or Roof Orders, wherever the party you choose. It costs you money. You suckers are paying it, but you're willing to give it away for free to people who don't even own their houses. What's wrong with you? Like, you're not a charity, you're a business.
Got to give a shout out to Benny.
Uh.
Homeowner check amnesia in the wintertime. So let me tell you this, I'm working on with Contractor Coach, Jim Johnson, worked with him in the past too. So he and I sat down, and because this is a real thing, check amnesia is a real thing, especially in COVID. So what we sat down and we started saying, okay, if it's true that you are waiting 60, 90, 120 days for your checks, that's real money. That's cash flow.
Mhm.
That is costing you money. How much is it costing you? And so if we sat down and said, if it's going to be somewhere between 12 and 15%, because it's not just the insurance company, it's not just working with them that's delaying this. Now it's getting really bad with the mortgage companies are also knowing how much that money is worth. They're sitting on it. So let me tell you guys, and you guys need to start thinking about in these terms, how many of you are offering financing on all of even your storm jobs? And the reason is this, because we know that 70% of homeowners cannot afford a
$1,000 check,
right? Now you're giving the ability to say, these are the biggest checks they've ever seen. I mean, somebody who's living on, a medium income has never seen a $15,000 check before. And you say, no, that's yours. 12 months, no interest is going to cost you what? 5% maybe?
Very smart.
And so now you're just financing the whole thing. You're getting paid at the end of it. You're done. But you just got rid of the amnesia. And you know what? By the other chance of it too, because I got cut because we're all, hate monthly payments, right? So we're all Dave Ramsey fans here, right? But tell you what, this might be their key to pay off that credit card. They're sitting there with a $12, $15, $20, $30,000 balance that they're paying 25, 30% on. You give them $18,000, 12 month, no interest. You get 5%, you're done. You don't have check amnesia. They're paying off their credit cards. I mean, there's a lot of win-win-win. And I think people really need to get more in tune with financing, even on storm jobs.
And I want to give a shout out to Bob Hoyle. We're actually going to be in Orlando with Bob in a couple of days here, making some final touches on a roofing process conference. Bob used to work for Dave Ramsey, and that guy would not borrow money. He buys rental houses, trucks, everything cash. One of the arguments I hear a lot from the contractors, they vote against financing. They're like, nope, those rates are ridiculous. Here's the thing, guys. Don't judge people in the first place. You don't know financial situations. You don't know if my mama needs a house roof tomorrow and she has $2,000. Don't judge her. Like let's say my mom lives somewhere out of state, and I call local roofing companies. Hey, she doesn't have money. She doesn't have money. You're gonna say no to her, to some older people, sometimes it's okay to pay 10-15% interest rate. Situations are different. Don't judge people. I hate credit too. I would love to be debt free and everything in my house and business and never borrow a dollar in my name. But as a business owner, you have to go where the market is. We buy our cars because it makes sense to us. Let's say you're flipping the house and the last thing you need is $20,000 roof and you just don't have it. But when you flip the house and when you sell it, you're going to get it back. And if you don't, probably not in this market, but if you don't, you're probably going to get lowball offers and people will negotiate $30,000 out of you when it costs you 15, 20K. So don't judge people. Have the solution for you. I don't care who you use. We recommend Intensify because you can be brand new in business and tomorrow start offering it. Just when you offer it, make sure you talk about it. You will actually sell more retail jobs by offering financing. But for me, it's all big mind, open mind, or closed mind and stubbornness. So many contractors are like, nope, not gonna do it. Nope, not gonna put website prices on my website. Nope, not gonna offer financing. You think you're good, you're doing good, and you're a good guy. I'm calling you out. You're stubborn, you're selfish, and you only think about yourself. And you will never grow with that mentality.
I've heard more than a few people say that if you do not learn how to do financing, you will be out of business in 5 years. I think there's a lot of different reasons that they say that. But you look at anything in the market changes, people are going to have to become better salespeople. Because your storm, hey, this might not last forever, this whole storm restoration stuff. But the other thing is, as insurance companies they're going to continue to evolve. And, there aren't these big ticket items that are not offered in financing. And there's a reason why it's happening that way. You're going to limit your liability, I think, in some cases. You're going to make easy to buy from in other cases. But at the end of the, and rising even deductibles are going up. You're going to get to the point where you're going to need financing. It's better to jump in and figure it out now so that when you really do need it, it'll be there.
Absolutely. Gutter Boy Seamless, love your name, is saying, I always charge and get paid. I would like to know how much you charge, because for the gutter guys, you can charge too. Kyle, see you later. Andy here, another JF Master League contractor. I charge $99 for an estimate depending on the situation. First, I pre-screen the potential client very well and ask the right questions, and then they see the value in my information. My roof tune-up is minimum $800. That's including replacing up to 3 plumbing booths and reselling all penetrations. Anything outside of that is additional cost. And that's, by the way, Atlanta market, very saturated market. And guess what? Andy can do it. You can do it. Just open your mind, guys. Open your mind.
It gets you in front of that homeowner again and again. Maybe you got their roof this time, but by then they need more siding, they need windows, they need a deck. The more you're out there doing these tune-ups and that kind of stuff, you're putting yourself in front of the contractor or in front of the client again. Never a bad idea.
Shane says estimate is overhead. I say estimate is a cost. It's not overhead. And especially if it's costing you per job, estimate is overhead if it doesn't cost you money. But for example, what's stopping you, Shane, charging or passing? Like, you wouldn't pull a permit on a job that you wouldn't get paid, right? So you don't pull a permit until you sell the job. Well, why are you pulling, let's say, Eagle View report and paying for it if you're not getting a job? The same thing here. It's a cost, and as a contractor, you need to get that cost down. So great point. But if you grow your business, let's say your company does hundreds and hundreds of estimates, that's a big cost. And by the way, you can charge for that. If you don't offer reports as a service, as a line item, I think you're missing out. And if you do, you can charge for it, and nobody will have a problem paying for it. I'm talking about realtors, people who need comments, peace of mind report for any reasons. You never know. Like when I was selling these deals online, guys, you will be amazed how many people actually purchase it for someone else. Like kids would buy a roof inspection for their parents. Why? Because they don't want their parents to be targeted by storm chasers, by shady contractors knocking on their doors, offering free stuff. No, I would rather pay for inspection, say, hey, go inspect it, because you trust them. You would do it for the loved ones. So I was blown away what was happening in the back end. People who were buying it, the way they were buying it, it was completely new market for me, a completely new consumer behavior, because I was like you. I was like, people will never buy it, or they always want the cheapest deal. It's not the case. People want a peace of mind, and they want to have experience with you before they hire you. That's your opportunity to show how first transaction with you can go. You can always waive it. You can always include it in the price of replacement, but you don't have to do it for free. So no diagnostic fees is a new bait. Help creates incentive and engagement for the customer. So guys, we're going to wrap up for today. Country Top Roofing says, I see your book on traction. It talks a lot about accountability, but mostly accountability of management office personnel. List your top ways to keep your contractor workers accountable to help you grow. Do you have answer to that? List top ways to keep your contractors workers accountable to help you grow.
Man, it's so difficult to self-motivate, get yourself out. And I always take that and keep it in front of your trends too. I joke about it sometimes, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was doing this every day, I used to joke, all I had to do was shower in the morning and brush my tooth, and I was separating myself from the competition. You look at all of the technologies and the programs and how complex this industry has become, it's not like the old days. Your old school is kind of gone. So I would say number one, stay self-motivated, get up every morning, get up, get going, keep moving. And secondly, keep up with your trends.
I would say know your numbers. When you manage people, you have to know what they can produce and what they cannot, and how they produce, how they operate. Like, for example, I remember so many talks with my receptionist. I remember I have two people in the office at the time. Forgot the names, Kelly and Shane, and both of them left at 4:20 one day because they thought it was quiet. They're like, phones were quiet. They left. Both of them were responsible. At that time, I actually had gutter company and roofing company. One was managing gutter phone, and Kelly was managing roofing phone. And between 4:20 p.m. and 5 p.m. that day, we missed 6 phone calls that went to next day. Next morning, I start conversation with them, started meetings like, hey guys, listen, we missed 6 phone calls with a closing rate of 50%. That's 3 jobs. If you would schedule those 6 estimates at 3 jobs, my closing rate is 50%, and my average ticket is $10,000. Guess what? You just cost me $30,000. You better call them now and make sure you schedule the 6 appointments. So when they leave, thinking like, oh, we're saving company money. You're not saving nobody's money. You have to think about big picture, like what you contribute to the company. Like right now, I manage videographers. So when my videographer does not have a video tomorrow, my YouTube channel is going down, and I can show metrics. I can actually have conversation, not about Dmitri's opinion, not about why it's important to me to have a YouTube video tomorrow, but I can show them YouTube metrics or Facebook metrics, what's happening to our pages in engagement and in the community and sales as a result if they don't do their work. So I think if you really want to manage people, you have to show them numbers that they produce and make them accountable for those numbers, but also maybe feel proud. Like that receptionist, if she doesn't know the importance of answering phone calls for you, what it does for her, it's just a phone call. I just left earlier, what's a big deal? When you write it down and you explain to her what actually happened, because she left 20-30 minutes earlier, because if you don't return to people right away, next day it's almost like a cold call these days. Attention span is too small. They already have 5 companies coming. You're number 6. Just saying, like you never know. All right, Mike, anything else at the end? We're gonna wrap it up, guys. I don't like my lives over an hour. Appreciate all of you guys here. Mike, you gave us a lot of good feedback. Again, Mike is my personal nomination for sales rep of the year for manufacturers. If you absolutely love your rep and you're in this community, in about a week, we're going to have a forum. You'll fill up nominating your rep. We want to give shout out to best of the best in each category. Sales reps from manufacturers definitely deserve a lot of credits. It's a lot of us, it's not a lot of them. And I'm telling you, if you have a good rep, make sure you appreciate. The trend is they usually buy us lunches. They usually go after us, our business. We don't do much to make them feel special. We don't, send them gift cards, and we don't do a lot for them. But I'm telling you this, if you have a good rep, it's part of your success in business. With him or her, you will be able to do a lot of things behind the scenes when you have claims, when you have problems, when you have issues. Sometimes maybe when you have a meltdowns, it's good to talk to the rep. As a matter of fact, Mike is the one, he doesn't know it. It's the first time I'm sharing it. Mike is the one he's the reason I